Well, joining me now to discuss all that and more is sports analyst Adi Oladipo. Adi, we'll start with Arsenal, but just a quick reference there. Eden Hazard looked happy there, sat next to Mourinho, didn't he?
Yeah, it's strange. All these end-of-season kind of games they're travelling all over the world, which happens almost before the season. So I can imagine he's probably had his holidays booked, and then he's been told he's got to go to Australia for a couple of weeks. Yeah, he looks like a man that wants to be on holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't blame him.
Well, let's go back to the FA Cup winners then, Arsenal. Have they had a good season, third in the league and winning the FA Cup again?
I think they'll take it. Let's not get overexcited with where Arsenal should be. I look at their squad, and that's the team that should be challenging for Champions League. Believe it or not, I think that their squad is that strong and should be challenging for the league. But winning's a habit, and they've won the FA Cup last season. If you were to ask them at the beginning of this season, or probably the middle of this season, third place FA Cup, they'll take it. So I think for them it's momentum now. Get maybe 3 or 4 very good players in, and next season they should be challenging for, I think, all honours, not just FA Cup or Carling Cup, but the big ones, Champions League and the Premier League.
And has Arsene Wenger got more than a couple of years left in him? Do you think he'll see maybe a title or a Champions League victory in his time left?
I think he has. I think he's finally starting to rebuild the team and build a very good, strong team as well. It's taken a long time. You know, he's been used to losing players every season. The likes of Nasri, Van Persie, Adebayor, people have been going. It's the opposite now. People are coming. Ozil, Sancho's, world-class players are now deciding that Arsenal's the place to be. And I think he's got them back at that level again where, like I said, 2 or 3 more signings, maybe a central midfielder. I still think they need a striker. And there's a goalkeeping issue as well there. Goalkeepers are going to become available. Peter Cech will be available. Casillas will be available. If he can get his hands on one of those, you never know. And
that's the key thing, isn't it? Strengthening the team in the right areas. So there's talk of Arturo Vidal of Juventus going there. So do you think they need more than 2 or 3 players? How many more do you think they need?
I don't think so. I think they need maybe just 2 or 3. We saw what Chelsea done last season when they came third in the league last season. All they did was buy, 3 players, and Fabregas, Costa, Philippe Luis came in, and that was it, really. Matic came in as well. You don't need to make wholesale changes. Maybe 3 or 4 players, that's it for the spine, and then you can go and challenge. You don't want an issue where you bring 3 or 4, 5 or 6 players like Liverpool did, like Tottenham did the season before, and it doesn't quite work out. I think 3 or 4 players, they'll move on.
Theo Walcott had a strong end to the season, didn't he? Scoring in the cup final and also in the last league game against West Brom.
Yeah.
Important they keep him, do you think?
It's a strange one with Walcott. We all know his abilities. He's had that ability since he was 16 years of age. The problem with Walcott's injuries, and he seems to be getting constantly injured now. He has a run about 3 or 4 games and injured, 3 or 4 games and injured. If they can keep him fit, I do think he's one of the Premiership's best players. He's still very young. What is he, 24, 25?
Yeah.
So he's not a 28, 29-year-old. I think it'll be important to keep players like him, Wilshere at the club, almost keep the English foundation as well, and kind of build with it on that. And I think Arsenal will be strong next season. But let's not forget, Chelsea will be strong as well. So will Man City, so will Man United. So it's no foregone conclusion that they'll be sort of anywhere near favourites for the title.
And as we move on now to Chelsea, who are in Sydney at the moment, down under, do you think that Jose Mourinho can win the Champions League in his time at the club? He's been there for now 2 seasons in his second tenure. Is he going to be able to do it, do you think? I mean, there's a strong sort of competition element from the rest of Europe. Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, Champions League, although I don't think the depth is where it used to be in football, in terms of 8 or 9 top clubs anymore. But there are 3 or 4 very, very good clubs, and that's Bayern Munich, Madrid, and Barcelona. You chuck in Juventus as well there. So getting to the quarterfinals, that's not a problem for the likes of Chelsea. It's getting past that stage now. They get a Barcelona in the draw, you know, they're in problems. They get a Madrid in the draw, problems. Even Paris Saint-Germain are going to spend big as well. So I think Chelsea, they'll find it tough, but with Mourinho, a defensive-minded coach, and if he is saying, you know, he's going to bring 2 or 3 world-class players to the team again, he's definitely got a good chance. But Barcelona right now are playing football out of this world. So he meets them, it could be good night very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the Chelsea team this year that won the Premier League, they led very early on and they stayed there.
Yeah.
Have they got any weaknesses in that team? Where do you think they might need to strengthen in the summer if they do want to go on and win the Champions League?
Up front could be an issue. I don't think Loic Remy's... He's a good footballer, but I don't think, you know, if Diego Costa's not playing and Loic Remy's up front, you're not going to look at that as a direct replacement. Obviously, Drogba's retired as well, so you look at strength and depth in that position, and they are going to struggle. They will buy a striker. It will be a top-class striker. Benzema's probably going to be available this season. Benteke as well, who's almost like for like with Drogba, although I really hope he doesn't go there because I think Liverpool really want him and need him. But they're going to get a striker, so that could be where their weakness is. In central defence as well, John Terry had a very good season, but John Terry's going to be 33 years old, so I don't know if he can play week in, week out anymore. So they're going to probably look at a cover for John Terry and maybe 2 or 3 strikers up front as well, just as covers.
Borussia Dortmund, the last game for Jurgen Klopp, the outgoing manager there, very
Yeah.
much a fan's favourite, isn't he? He's a big personality. Would
He
you
is.
like to see him in the English Premier League and maybe even at Liverpool?
It's a tough one. As much as I want consistency with Brendan Rodgers, for the owners, you've got to look at, they're going to probably think Liverpool need another 100, 150 million pounds worth of investment this season just to compete for top 4. Do you give that to Brendan Rodgers, or when someone like Klopp comes available, who's highly sought after in Europe, do you kind of give him a go? I mean, I think Jurgen Klopp's a fantastic fit for Liverpool, so I can see where the link is there. He does, he's worked with so much restraints. Every time he builds a player up, they either go to Bayern Munich or go out of the country.
Yeah.
So he's always losing his best players every season. And I think that's why the fans are endeared to him so much. Normally when a manager's going, you get boos, and look at the celebrations, even when they lost the cup, that he's going, so it's fantastic. But I think Brendan Rodgers still should be given one more season, but look, Klopp's available. It's going to be hard to turn that kind of offer down.
Like you say, it's going to be hard to turn someone like him down because he's going to get an offer from someone. Napoli, I heard today, were in the market for him. So, would you want to see Liverpool lose out to him to a different team in a different league?
That's the problem. I mean, if Liverpool lose out to him, especially to a team in the Premiership, you kind of feel like that's competition for us. I mean, Man City, Pellegrini, his job's not safe. Klopp could go there. Talk of West Ham, I think he's way above West Ham.
Yeah.
But you never know. They're obviously moving to a new stadium, so again, he probably wants somewhere where he can settle and have 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
West Ham could be that real rebuilding job, but hopefully it's Liverpool.